The time is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon. Here is the 12 o'clock edition of the Network News. State security forces say as many as 400 suspected members of the Moro National Liberation Front, or MNLF, tried to overrun the Zamboanga City Hall before dawn today, leading to a bloody encounter. Alvin Baltazar reports.
About 400 Moro National Liberation Front members fought with the combined forces of the PNP and the military after the MNLF allegedly attempted to conquer Zamboanga City Hall this morning. Aside from 2 reported members of the Special Action Force who got killed, number of hostages had increased from 20 to now almost 30. In line with this, the local government has ordered for the evacuation of residents of Mariki, Santa Barbara, and Rio Hondo, as cancellation of classes and work in the city has been suspended. Aside from the apprehension of the rebel members, authorities now are also starting to arrest civilians who have guns but without license to carry guns. Alvin Baltazar for PBS News.
Military officials say they continue to coordinate with the local government in Zamboanga City in the wake of the ongoing security crisis. Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP spokesman Domingo Tutaan, says their priority for now is the safety of the residents. Tutaan has confirmed that at least 30 civilians are now being used as human shields by the MNLF rebels who are trying to take over the city. Due to the gunfight, Zamboanga City Mayor Isabel Climaco ordered the suspension of classes at all levels in the city. Work in the city has been suspended too. At least 11 members of the Moro National Liberation Front, or MNLF, were arrested in Zamboanga City this morning, hours after a pre-dawn clash killed a soldier and wounded several others. The Zamboanga City Hall posted this on the internet as it opened a hotline for residents to report any unusual activity. The city government also advised residents to stay calm without giving further details. Task Force Zamboanga Chief Colonel Adelino Colina said the MNLF wanted to hoist their flag at the City Hall, which triggered the firefight. Some residents are reportedly trapped in Barangay Santa Catalina, where retreating MNLF rebels took hostages. Authorities are now pinning the blame on former MNLF Chairman Nur Miswari for allegedly instigating the attack in Zamboanga City. Again, Alvin Baltazar reports.
Authorities are not discounting the possibility that MNLF Chairman Nur Miswari has something to do with the ongoing tension in Zamboanga City. According to Colonel Adelino Colina, head of Task Force Zamboanga, Miswari's force possibly wanted to leave a message that they are sticking in their earlier stand of having their own autonomy in Mindanao. At present, according to Colina, their concentration along with the police force is in the area of Santa Catalina, where there is an ongoing hostage-taking incident against about more than 20 individuals. Based on reports, 6 are now injured in connection with the ongoing tension. Alvin Baltazar for PBS News.
In related news, a Navy patrol clashed early today with suspected Muslim rebels aboard several boats off southern Zamboanga City in a fierce clash that killed a Navy man and wounded 6 others. The Navy men clashed with about 100 suspected Moro National Liberation Front, or MNLF rebels off Rio Hondo, a crowded Muslim community in the port city. The pre-dawn clash later spilled into Rio Hondo as people slept, prompting scores of residents to flee. The police and military reinforcements have been deployed to immediately secure Rio Hondo. Malacanang has strongly condemned the attack on Zamboanga City. Marie Louise reports.
Malacanang strongly condemns the attack on Zamboanga City. Presidential spokesman Edwin Lacheda said authorities are responding to the situation in a manner that will restore peace and order at the soonest possible time and reduce risks to innocent civilians. Initial reports of the possible use of civilians as human shields is also cause for great concern. President Aquino is being continuously updated on the situation. Government troops and MNLF forces clashed after the rebels hostage several persons in Santa Barbara, Zamboanga City. Malacanang is urging the public to refrain from speculations and disinformation that will cause fear and alarm. For his part, Presidential Communications Operations Secretary Sonny Coloma says those responsible must be dealt with accordingly. Marie Peña Ruiz for PBS News.
All Zamboanga flights in and out are canceled today. Cebu Pacific has canceled Flight 5J840 from Tawi-Tawi to Zamboanga due to the current security situation. The rest of the flights to and from Zamboanga have been put on hold as well. Passengers with flight to and from Zamboanga today may rebook their flight for travel within 30 days from the original departure date with no penalties. Passengers may also opt for full travel fund or full refund according to Cebu Pacific. State intelligence agencies have activated their men and are coordinating with each other ahead of the planned rally at the EDSA Shrine on Wednesday. This as authorities are on the alert for a possible connection between the rally organizers and the anniversary of the 9/11 attack in New York 12 years ago. Again, Alvin Baltazar reports.
Various intelligence community and agencies are now coordinating with each other in connection with this coming Wednesday's anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attack. PNP PIO Chief Police Senior Superintendent Ruben Teodoro Sindak said that they have to be prepared for any eventualities as they are also busy preparing for the EDSA Tayo event at the EDSA Shrine. Sindak stressed that their intelligence units and the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency or NICA are continuously gathering information against any possible attacks which may perpetrate by terrorist groups this 12-year anniversary of the 9/11 attack as their way to send a message that they are still around. Alvin Baltasar for PBS News.
Senator Francis Escudero says the heads of state agencies linked to the pork barrel scam may also be held liable as much as the lawmakers themselves. This as the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is set to expand its inquiry to include all 82 non-government organizations or NGOs cited in the Commission on Audit Special Audit Report. Escudero said the implementing agencies are clearly liable for not complying with the audit and procurement rules. He said administrative and violations of the anti-graft law will have to be filed, including plunder. At least 8 of the 82 NGOs involved in the scam are under the control of detained businesswoman Janet Napoles. In related news, the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI fact-finding probe, has unearthed the direct collusion between Janet Napoles and several lawmakers in skimming billions of pesos in pork barrel funds. Justice Secretary Laila de Lima has confirmed this, saying the NBI has found evidence to file plunder charges against Napoles and her alleged conspirators. She said among those likely to be implicated are lawmakers and even officials in the executive branch. De Lima explained Napoles could not have done this alone, saying the participation of a public official is a necessary element in a plunder charge. She also said the NBI will file criminal charges apart from the plunder raps. National Defense Under Secretary Fernando Manalo says the Vietnam War vintage Huey helicopter will still be effective for another 20 years. Manalo said the Huey, which the Air Force still has around 21 in flying condition, is the best aircraft for peacekeeping and relief missions. The Huey, or the Bell UH-1 helicopter, was developed as a medical evacuation and utility helicopter in the early 50s, with some 7,000 units seeing service in the Vietnam War. Manalo said a lot of countries are still flying the Huey because of its excellent flying characteristics. The Philippine Electricity Market Corporation is seeking to raise 840 million pesos for a new market management system. Albert Sebastian explains how the amount could be raised from power distributors.
The Philippine Electricity Market Corporation, or PEMC, asked the Energy Regulatory Commission, or ERC, for additional market transaction to raise 841.5 million pesos for a new market management system. Market registration fees are variable fees meant to recover additional registration requirements of wholesale electricity spot market or WESM participants, as well as to cover the budgetary requirements of the WESM for each year. The approved rate, fixed annually, is multiplied by the total meter quantity generated by each participant to arrive at their market fees payable. WESM operator PEMC said in its application that the amount will be used to purchase the new market management system for the WESM, which serves as a trading floor for electricity in the country. This is Albert Sebastian reporting for PBS News.
In news abroad, the United States is seeking a United Nations Security Council resolution to endorse the planned punitive action against Syria. United States State Secretary John Kerry said many were leaning towards supporting a G20 statement calling for a strong global response to the August 21 chemical attack in Damascus. Kerry said Arab countries led by Saudi Arabia are also seeking a tough response against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. He said the G20 statement has already been signed by no less than a dozen nations. Washington and Paris say forces loyal to Assad were behind the attack, in which more than 1,400 were killed, and are considering airstrikes to stop him from using such weapons again. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has denied being behind last month's chemical attack in Damascus. Veteran CBS correspondent Charlie Rose says Assad denied he had anything to do with the attack. Assad's rare interview with the United States television network is to be aired today. Rose quotes Assad as saying there is no evidence to prove he used chemical weapons against his own people. Assad also dared President Barack Obama to provide the evidence he says he has to justify for the planned military strike against Syria. And finally, a look at the weather. Pagasa said the low-pressure area spotted at 180 kilometers north of Puerto Princesa would bring rains over the area today. The low-pressure area embedded along the intertropical convergence zone prevailing across Palawan, the Visayas and Mindanao, adding that rains would also be expected in these areas. Even if the low-pressure area may have a slim chance of intensifying into a tropical depression, light to moderate rains may still be experienced over the western sections of the country. Metropolitan Manila, Ilocos, and Bicol, as well as the rest of the Visayas and Mindanao, may expect cloudy skies accompanied by light to moderate rains and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, the rest of Luzon will be just partly cloudy, which may develop into cloudier skies later on in the day, bringing in scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. And with that, we conclude the 12 o'clock edition of the Network News. This is Vibar reporting.
This is Business Radio.